Okay, first up is Andrea Shen, and so far looking really good. Um, so I don't have the images here right now. The neck is looking a little on the small side, but I guess once we got the head on there, we'll see the proportions of that. Um, the legs look great. Shoes looking pretty good. There's some, I think that what's going on with these triangle shapes here? This kind of dense area here. So I think what happened is that you got this because you were doing this kind of corner thing here and that populated the rest of the way up. So we're going to want to sort of combine some of those edges. I think that what I might do is start maybe here. It's like this, and well, actually, let's just double click the whole edge. Oh, that goes down there, huh? Maybe this one. Yeah, that terminates there anyways. And I think I can get rid of that one. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. Do anything weird? Okay. And then maybe you want this crease here. I don't know what's going on with these kind of funny triangle shapes at the top. And I don't know if you wanted it that squared off in the back or not. But I might say like, oh, why is it not picking that loop, I wonder? It's not a good sign. Usually that means there's something that's not quads in there. Let's check that real quick. So if I go to select use constraints, and in the next selection, let's go face, and let's say end-sided, and oh, I think okay. Oh, okay. There's one here. So mostly it's okay. Maybe from that thing I just deleted. So I think that's probably what it is, because I deleted that thing going up. So it'd probably be okay just to put a little triangle in there. I'll do Control Shift X for the multi-cut tool and just go here and here and just put that in there, because you're not as worried about everything being quads and something like this. Now I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't want to let me double click this. Let's go back to faces and let's select triangles. Let's see what. Oh, there's some on there. Just down around here though. And that one I just did there. Alright, I don't know. Anyway, this is just a little weird to me. I don't know why these have been pulled down in these big triangle shapes, and some of this is a little uneven. It could be kind of cleaned up, and then yeah, it looks like something went a little wacky here. Like I feel like that should just be continuing around. It looks like something sort of got all merged together there in a way. Maybe it didn't need to. Let's try deleting some of these guys off. Shift right mouse click, delete edge, and Control Shift X multi-cut tool, and then maybe delete this and that. that better? And then kind of, yeah, it seems like it's sort of following around more now. It still does dead ends there for some reason. Oh no, 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 it went all the way around. Yeah, and then kind of go in and clean up. And here you've got, wow, you've got some like really tight extra edges there. I guess it looks okay when it's smooth. But no, this looks kind of funky. Anyways, you can kind of, spend some time cleaning this up a little bit. And oh yeah, it's this stuff over here that's, again, kind of crazy. I don't know why the triangular things here. Yeah, see, no, that's bad. I might be able to take this vertex and shift right mouse click, delete vertex, yeah. But then that deleted that whole thing, so I'll put in the edge back in. Just trying to clean up those weird triangular things. And now, like, see, there's another little guy right there. Shift right mouse click, delete vertex. Whoops. Ooh, doesn't want to delete it. Why not? See if it'll delete this edge. No. Oh, this is like, yeesh. Something went a little awry here. I don't know if I did this or it was like it before. Is that why it won't let me delete that? Let me just try deleting this whole face. This whole face. Yeah, see that? Oh, there's like a double. Boy, this is a little wacky on the inside, it seems like. Yeah, I think there's lots of little stuff to clean up on these boots. There's just a lot of weird little surfaces on the inside here. And I don't think I did that. Hope not. So, yeah, I kind of don't want to spend all day on this. But I think the boots need some cleanup. I don't know if you have an earlier version. Let me just reopen the file and see if that stuff's going on before I started goofing with it. Yeah, I can kind of see some of this wackiness here. So something went a little wrong here. I mean, you know what I might do? Since the rest of the boot's pretty good, I might just lop off the top of this and then extrude up from there again. Make sure that's all cleaned up. Yeah, see, even there's a little bit of something messed up there. I'm just going to select this and isolate select. Yeah, see that right there? That extra little thing that got pulled out. You know what? You might fix this faster is mesh. I know it's mesh cleanup and remove non-manifold and limit of faces and some of these. Nope. Okay, sometimes that works. So you're just gonna have to kind of go in here and clean this stuff up. Jeez. Yeah. So go in and clean that up, and I'm not gonna spend any more time on this. But then grab this top edge, and then, ooh, jeez. Why is it doing that? It's really. Whoa. Did I do that? Hope not. Actually, maybe let's delete up a little bit further. Normally, this is not. I'm just going to select all that and then control select these and then delete all that off. Okay, so now it looks like we have something. Yeah, again, there's still all this stuff. like once you get started, it's hard to stop. Anyways, you really want to go in and do some surgery and get all that cleaned out, and then hopefully this is why is it doing that? Anyway, go in and clean it up, and then I'm just gonna select that, control select this, and shift right mouse click extrude edge, and click this little guy here and pull this up, and then you've got a cleaner thing from there, although I would also get rid of these kind of extra edges here. So the boots need some cleanup. Hopefully that was kind of helpful. I know that wasn't perfect demo, but there was a lot of little funny things going on in there that I'm discovering. This looks good. You might want to, on these, just extrude in this edge to give it some thickness there. Shift right mouse click, extrude edge, and just something like that. Or maybe I'm going to undo that, and maybe you want to, kind of move it down a little bit, and then maybe extrude again. And it can intersect the leg, just to give it some, I mean, you could spend a little more time cleaning that up, but just to give it some, so it's not like paper thin. I didn't have mirror on, but that kind of works, because now you can compare the two sides. I think, yeah, that would need some adjustment, but conceptually you get the idea. I mean, you kind of have something like that at the top already. I think the shirt is structured well. I just think it needs a little bit more shape to it, the way it hangs on her a little bit, maybe kind of curving in, maybe even want to put some wrinkles, and same thing here, get that a little bit more form to her shape. And so we've got, oh yeah, because it's still separated. And then your big question was these hands. So I just kind of want to show you the process of, you said you don't want to add any loops to the arms, and I would argue that it wouldn't hurt you to add a little bit more detail to the arms, like a couple more loops or so. But anyways, let me just show you the process of terminating the loops on the hand. So the goal is to, if you wanted to go all the way down, I'm going to go display, heads up display, object details, and we've got, no, not object details, sorry, display, heads up display, poly count, that's what I meant to do. 12. So, and this is a lot more than 12. 48! Okay, so that's where maybe you want to consider adding some more to this one, just because that's a lot of terminating to get this down to 12. But let's look at the process. So I like the target weld tool for this. So I'm going to go mesh tools, target weld, and I'll use edges. Oh gosh, you even have, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm just in, yeah, there we go. So maybe I'll start here and kind of weld, well, let's see, maybe I want to leave that center one intact, so maybe this to that and this to that, and we'll get this all the way down. Okay, and now this, you've got triangles, but it's an easy fix. If I now delete this, shift right mouse click delete edge, that is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4 sided face, quad. And if you want, you can make it more of a diamond. One trick in the object tool is to change the transform constraints to surface slide, and that way if I move it around, it stays on the surface, like it can't move off. And then if you want it, so you could just kind of adjusting the topology without, and you could, spread some of these out. So, and let me just show that again. So let's go back to the target weld tool, switch to right mouse click, switch to edge, and what did we do? These two, and this and that. Okay, and then once again, this guy gets deleted, delete, shift right mouse click, delete edge. You can adjust this. I've got it on surface slide to make a diamond. You know, we might want to adjust there. And just keep going around. So what are we up to now? Still a lot more than 12. 40! Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to take the time to do all of these. Let's just do a couple more. So maybe these to this. Okay, and get rid of this guy. And you know, so basically you're getting all these sort of diamonds in here to terminate the edge loops while staying in quads. And you know, you sort of want to be strategic to try and keep this stuff as evenly spaced as possible. You know, we're pretty tight in here, so there's definitely some room to maybe that. And then, oops, bracket can take you to the previous view. Left bracket, shift right mouse click, delete edge, pick the vert, move it for your triangle, and just, you know, to get a decent shaped quad. I don't know if I want to change that line there, but you know, these, maybe these guys could come down a little bit to kind of make it a, you know, anyways, you can tweak on the topology, and it'd still be okay. It's not like as lovely as all the straight lines, but so that's the process. Again, I don't know that you need to watch me do it over and over again all the way around, but again, what's going to be challenging to get this down to 12. What you can do then is you can then do more here, right? You can combine some of these if you really want it, right? Because we still have room here. We still have rows left to get it down further. And then combine and bridge is the final step. I guess I can try and finish this. I'll just try and speed up a little bit. I'm trying to think if you can like weld multiple things at the same time. I don't know. Or maybe if we just deleted those, would that work? It's not much different. Yeah, I'll try to kind of speed this up. And I'll cut all those afterwards. How are we doing? 20 still? Okay, let's just look where, yeah, it's a little spread out here, so maybe we could, yeah, maybe we can lose this one here still. Boy, is that looking a bit sparse. Okay, and then go around and get rid of these and that. And those are already, whoops. Something went awry here. I messed something up. What are we down to now? 16. So that's, I mean, that's where I'm kind of like, maybe you could add some to this one, just because, yeah, the 12 is sort of hard to hit, and this is also where you want to. Is there a? I think maybe it's this guy right here that I didn't. Maybe it's not such a great idea to do those as kind of a batch thing, because then it gets a little confusing. think that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Minutes. So again, if you're so determined to get it down to this and not add anything to the body, we could, go like another row down here and reduce these. You better starting to lose some shape here. I feel fear. Oops. Why is it doing that weird display thing? I don't know. And wasn't there something I had to delete? I guess it's this one. Okay. And are we down to 12 yet? Yes. Okay. So now you probably want to line these up better, but combine these. I mean, you have to be a little bit more careful than this and a little bit more strategic, but let's turn off this, reset this. And maybe you want to spread these out, but yeah, you could probably just bridge. Oops. Shift right mouse click, bridge, and then do some edge sliding to just even this out. Middle mouse, right, and then start cleaning it up. So that is, and I think I did okay with the quads thing. Let's just do using constraints, and let's see if there's, well, let's just select quads and see if it doesn't select anything. Yeah, I think that's all quads. So there you go. And but the topology, it looks a little weird here, but it's like, you're staying in quads, and you don't have, a lot of this stuff isn't edge loops as you go down here now because of the kind of the crazy stuff. So you could probably spend some time kind of, like here, like pushing those up and making your little diamond shapes. But anyway, that's how you can terminate edge loops and remain in quads. Next up is Elena, and yeah, you've got a good start. I think the shoes really came out well, very much like the ones in the video. Something's going on with the pants. I think that there are multiple copies of them here, so yeah, I might just get rid of these extra copies. And you might need, some extra loops here. Control Shift X to get the multi-cut tool, hold down Control, a loop here, a loop here, one here. Just to hold that shape if you want to keep that. I think you might need another one there. And yeah, I think you could do a little more kind of just shaping around the crotch and the butt, and then just keep going, shirt, hands, all that kind of stuff. Just keep following the videos. You mentioned a scale thing, some problems. Pretty much with any of these tools, like if you get some weird scale, like what I'm guessing is if I go here, actually if I hold down R and then left mouse click, I'm going to do like a transform constraint and do, like, let's say edge slide. See, then I got that slide thing and it's doing something weird. I think that's what you were describing. Anytime something weird like that's happening, just double click on the tool and then hit reset. And now that slide thing goes away and it's back to normal. So, but that's how you can get that, is right mouse click and then transform an edge slide or surface slide. That's how you might end up getting that. But just, you can always just reset any of these tools to solve those sort of weird problems. Yeah, but there's not much else to critique yet, because you have some catching up to do. But That's okay, you're progressing, and just keep following the videos and keep moving forward. Next up is Vincent, and yeah, this is coming along really well. Just some really good shapes going on here. Um, I really like, a lot of what you got going on. I think I'm wondering, are you going to put a body in between here, or are you going to have the shirt overlap the pants? I think either of those is valid. I'm just wondering what you have planned. Really like these hands. It's obvious you put a lot of time and effort into those. Um, and you just got a really nice, unique shape. There's something a little bit funny about that. I like that crease on the top, but I don't so much like that same crease on the bottom. And I'm wondering if we take, maybe take these guys, shift double click here, whoops, select this one, shift double click, maybe that one, and shift right mouse click, slide edge, slide that down a bit, maybe move it down a touch to kind of round that out. And it's this. Oh wow! Oh, okay. It wasn't even wasn't even the main problem. You've got two edges basically right on top of each other here, doing that crease. So it's these guys are the real culprits for this bottom half of the crease. So I'm gonna do the same thing and slide that to spread that out a bit. But it's still tight on the top, and then so yeah, I mean, compare this finger to that where it's got that. I like the crease on top for the nail, but I just don't like it there. So you might go in and smooth those out. I think that could use a little more attention, but yeah, that'll unless that was intentional. But I'm guessing it's anyways. I think it could use some work. But yeah, a lot of nice detail on the hand, good shapes on the body. I just gotta find a way to put these together. The shoes look good. Everything's very cleanly modeled. I honestly don't have too much to say about this because you've done a nice job and you've got really good shapes. And if I kind of remember your design, it really follows that design. So I'm a little concerned about. Well, I guess it's all right. I don't know. There's something funny about the view from the front when it gets wide there, but. It kind of works from the side, and then from the front I guess the only thing I might consider is maybe going a little kind of wider on this area so it's not quite so pear-shaped, but you know, pear-shaped can be good for a cartoony thing. Anyway, it's yeah, it's really good work. Good job. Next up is Shane, and yeah, looking cool. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. I think the modeling, from what I can tell, is looking pretty clean. Might try to get a little more shape to the boot. It's like maybe just kind of get some reference in there for that bottom part of the boot. I think that the knee could use a little bit of attention too, a little bit more definition on the knee, and I guess decide, you know, what you want to do with this gap here. I might just pull these down inside the boot, but yeah, a little bit more definition on the knee. I don't know why there's this, seems like there's an extra edge here. Is that to put like a crease in there? Is that supposed to be like a crease? I guess so. If so, that's I don't know, maybe. I mean, I can see it being on the side if you want that crease, but I think it looks a little weird here, and I'm wondering why. Oh, is that just a continuation of these belt buckle things? I think that's what's going on here. So if that's the case, then yeah, let's get rid of some of these extra edges, because you'll just want to terminate those, you know, somewhere around here. Oh no, you've added them starting here. Huh. So maybe you did do that to get a crease. Well, if that's the case, then I'm not sure. Oh, and these more look like just ones where it's just continued down. So, yeah, I might. Merge some pair of these things. Maybe those two. Maybe I'll get out the target weld guy and maybe put these together. Oh, that wasn't good. Why is it not deselecting that? Try that again. And then maybe like delete one of these the rest of the way down. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. And then that kind of smooths out that. You don't get that weird crease in there. And yeah, we'll have one tiny little triangle in there, but you know, no one has to know. Although I think I did maybe mess something up here from where I did it. So maybe it has to be, or was that like that before? I guess that's about like that before. Yeah. So you could do that. You could just terminate it and have a little triangle there. Yeah, there's something a little funny about this. Maybe see if you can get rid of that guy. Oh, that kind of comes in here and then goes around there. How that happened. I just don't know why it suddenly like turns down here in this diagonal line. Can we just get rid of this one? But there's that's this kind of weird thing where this doesn't continue up there with that thing that's holding that edge. So you might want to multi-cut tool, and then might have to adjust my clipping plane to get closer to this thing, and then just complete that here, you know, so it stays and then it looks a little better. So yeah, some little cleanup stuff to do here. I think yeah, maybe you want to, you know, sort of soften these shapes a little bit. I might take this and edge slide it, you know, out a little bit, just to kind of soften this a little bit. You can just compare them side by side. They're not that different, but maybe you can like kind of blend that in better. I think it'll be better. I think it's a little bit too sharp right now, unless it's supposed to be like sculpted armor shapes or something. I'm not really sure. But I would tend to. Oh yes, there's another kind of weirdness around. I guess it's just extruded out. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, I think I like a little less extremely creased personally. I like that you've got like a real shoulder shape in here. That's good. A real elbow going on. That's all nice stuff. But yeah, this is just a bit sharp. So I don't know if it's like an armor thing, or if it's a guy without a shirt on, it's definitely too sharp, and you want to kind of slide those edges to soften it. Yeah, and again here I probably just would pull this out and tuck that into the glove. Oh yeah, I remember these hands. Those turned out pretty well. Maybe they're a little kind of blocky. Maybe you could get a little more shape in there, a little sense of the various knuckles. You might need some more detail going around here. And you can kind of, I don't know if you wanted this sort of funny kind of crease shape to it here, but if not, where's the sculpt surfaces tool? Isn't it in here? think that's a different one. Isn't there like sculpting tools? I thought there's like, I'm kind of used to, I guess, the older one. Um, you can just kind of hold down B and adjust the size of this, and how's that? That's really doing a whole lot of nothing. Oh, this is the one I'm thinking of. This sculpt geometry tool is kind of the one I'm more used to, where you can just put on smooth here and it just kind of smooths that out a little bit. And then there was sort of a crease in there, and then you, oh, I'm mirroring. That's no good. Ha! Make sure that's not on. Okay. Anyways, and then you can kind of get some of that shape back in. So yeah, I think this is coming along really well. I think kind of soften those shapes, you know, tuck these things in, you know, maybe pull that down into the pants, maybe get a little more definition of the butt, and definitely, you know, the proportions are kind of weird with the knee sort of low. Maybe you get the knee a little higher. Maybe get if with as much thigh as there is, the calf is looking very thin. So anyways, some stuff you can improve, but overall this is good work. Okay, this is Natalie, and got a hand here, and looks like this hasn't been hooked up yet. It looks very dense. Not sure how it got quite so dense. How big is this? That is 20, and this is 24. So, you know, pretty quickly I could just take, I think you have way too many of these edges anyways, so shift right mouse click, delete edge, for example, and then now we're at, oh, ha, 18, 24. Oh, is that one bigger? Yeah, and I think again here you can, I just think there's a lot of edges here that aren't really defining the shape. So, delete edge, that cuts us to 22, and then, yeah, you might want to like redistribute those a little bit. Just look where it's kind of dense, like maybe here. And then you could take some of these and shift right mouse click, slide edge, and you know, just kind of redistribute those to get that kind of even. And then 20 and 20, 18, oops, so 2 more on this one. And then redistribute it. Or shift right mouse click, slide edge. Okay, you can take a little more time than that. 18 and 18. So shift right mouse click, bridge. Whoops. Oh, sorry, these need to be combined first. I thought they were combined. Can I combine it from here? Combine. Shift right mouse click, combine, and then grab these guys and now bridge those. And then go in and, you know, work on the shape. This needs, you know, maybe use the soft select here. Hold down B, and hey, why is it not adjusting my brush size? That's weird. Can adjust it here too, but I should be able to. Hold on, there it is. Now it's working. I don't know, it's just being a little funny. Anyway, and you know, get in there and B to turn that back off again. Shift right mouse click, slide edge, and oops, adjust these. And anyways, so you gotta sculpt that because but the part of the problem is I don't know how, but you ended up with way more edges I think than there is in the video. So I might, before I even started this, kind of really try to start, just look at how dense it is there, just really try to start clearing out some of the edges first, and then shaping these with less edges, and then getting all these things hooked together. Let's look at your other file. All right. This is looking pretty good, except that you haven't done the arms yet, so something went a little wacky here with the collar thing, because you have just loads of edges here, many too many edges, and then this funny bit there. So I would say that it would be easier to take a step back and do this again than to fix that. But you could fix it. It's just this area in particular looks like it would be a pain to kind of rebuild and match everything up again, and you've got this weird paper thin thing here. So I would say go just do this again. Would be easier, because honestly the second time around it won't take you that long, and make sure you're kind of curving it in there. You'll want some additional detail. Control Shift X, and you can add some more loops there and kind of scale these in. And again, down here you've got so many edges here, I'm not sure why. Get some better shape to the front of the pants and the crotch. There's also, you ended up with a lot more edges on the, is there a smooth on there? Smooth. Oh, it's just a one. Well, that does that right there. So that's better. It's still maybe a little dense, but I think that's probably more like the one in the video. So you don't want or need that smooth right now. You know, you might want to add some more loops around the knees and stuff, but don't put that smooth on there. The shoes, yeah, those have a ways to go. I mean, it looks like you were kind of following the thing, but then you didn't get the hole in it and some of the other shapes, and so I might kind of review some of that. So, and then, yeah, I don't know why you keep getting, oh yeah, look at that little weird thing there. And then, wondering, yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if when you did in some of these extrudes, if you increase the you increase those divisions. I think that's where all that dense stuff is coming from. Yeah, see? That one's gone. I don't know where the other ones all were, but let's look at that on here too. For some reason it's doing oh, yeah, see, this doesn't always work to change these things after the fact. Sometimes it freaks out like that, but at least we know why it's doing that. So yeah, don't have that set to 5 divisions. It should just be at 1. So that's where you're getting all these weird little dense things, is because your extrude has that 5 divisions thing, and you don't want that. So yeah, I think you need to take a few steps back and kind of continue with the videos. I mean, I can see you're progressing okay, but there's a lot of little problems with this. So yeah, I would kind of take a step back and redo some of this, and then work forward from there with kind of a more sound model. Okay, next up is Lindsay, and yeah, you've got some good shapes going on here. I think yeah, it'll be interesting to see as you get the detail on the face. You might think about making the feet bigger. They look a little small for this character. I would tend to continue this kind of ball joint thing on the knuckles of the fingers, so that we would see that, you know, that ball joint there, and you might consider putting that kind of you know, that sort of that kind of curve here. So rather than having this totally flat and having these the same length, it's sort of weird that the index, did I do that? Did I make that shorter? Index finger. I mean, the index finger isn't so much shorter as much as, it's I mean that it's shorter than the middle finger, but it's also like it starts a little lower down. And so I think it just might be nice to get that shape here and then have those follow that a little bit, especially the pinky. And then also the pinky is, thinner, which is good, but it should also be shorter typically. So I might try that. Maybe just look at some hand reference. But yeah, I mean, it's all pretty. Oh wow, that is dense. That does not need to be that dense. Yeah, totally unnecessary because, I mean, it looks exactly the same now, right? So you really don't need to do that. Yeah, a lot of these I don't know why you guys are smoothing so much. This really just unnecessary, and again, it give you an unnecessarily dense model. Here's one here. It might freak out if I try to do this. No, did we lose any shape? I don't know. It kind of freaked out a little bit. So yeah, don't be smoothing stuff because when we render, it can render it in this in this smooth preview thing. So it'll look as smooth as it does when you click on the surface and hit 3. So you don't need to do all that smoothing unless you're adding a lot more detail, which you're not in this case. But yeah, I think you accomplished what you set out for, so that's good. Is there something? Wait a minute. How did? Oh yeah, these aren't lined up right. So get those. What you might want to do is just delete one of the legs off and then mirror the other one over to make it exactly this. Oh yeah, and it's not centered at all. That's no good. Yeah, make sure get this thing exactly. I guess this is centered, but somehow. I think it's just that the legs are so different. And get the feet flat on the ground as well. So move everything down so the feet are flat on the ground, and make sure that your limbs are mirrored so that they're exactly the same on both sides. Because the rig is going to be exactly the same on both sides, and if they're offset, the rig won't work, right? Okay, next up is Yao Nan, and let's look at the hand issue first. I think someone's already answered this, but let's just check. So, wait, 80. That's not Control F9 to switch to vertices. 20. Why was it saying 80 edges? I don't know. Okay, yeah, so that should be fine. Shift right mouse click, bridge. Oh yeah, no problem at all. Okay, so shift right mouse click, slide edge, and spread these out. Whoops. And shift right mouse click, slide edge. Spread those out, and then adjust the shape and so forth. So yeah, that's no problem. I think you're gonna have a really hard time with these fingers doing very much with them. They're so short and stubby. They almost look like, I get that they're kind of like paws, but I don't know. They look like almost fingers that have been chopped off to me or something. I guess what's kind of weird is it's got that whole palm, and then I would make longer fingers personally with some kind of definition of knuckle. I think you kind of got a lot. Oh, so you've done the thing where you've added enough up here to match the hand, and that's where you might want to alternatively terminate some of these so you don't have to add so many here. So if I, let's say, take out these two, shift right mouse click, delete edge, even that looks kind of dense still. Oh yeah, because of these on the back. Maybe that and that. And maybe a couple of these on top. And maybe that one. This one. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, make sure we continue down there. Do we need those? Anyway, that looks a little cleaner. And then, or if you have a version before you added all those, because it feels like you just added those to match the hand. And then if you, at the beginning of this video, I went over the whole thing of terminating some of these edge loops. I'm not going to do the whole thing again, but I'll just kind of very quickly show you target weld. So mesh tools, target weld, and then an edge. And then if I take like I don't know, yeah, like especially some of these on the side, but let's say starting here. Why is it switching to that? And do that. Whoops. Okay. And then I can take this and shift right mouse click delete edge, and that is a quad, and I can do like a diamond shape quad there, and I can, you know, work to even that out a little bit. And then anyways, you can just kind of continue, you know, strategically terminating edge loops until this is now, that's 18, and you have to get it down to 12. So you have a few more to delete, but yeah, there's definitely some down here you can do and so forth. So, you know, do some diamonds and then to terminate the edge loops to match that, and then you don't have to have the whole body dense just to do the arm. And then I did that more thoroughly at the beginning of the video on Andrea's, so you might want to, if you want to see more, you can do that. Watch that one, so we don't have to sit through me doing that all over again. But yeah, maybe spread out some of this stuff. It's looking a little bunched up in there. Oh, I think I might have done this when I deleted one of those edge loops. So I don't have, by the way, you'll want to put your mirror back on. I'm doing this without mirror. I'm being kind of sloppy. Of course, you can just mirror the whole thing again afterwards, but now I need to get rid of these. Okay. Oh, and I guess you've got that triangle in there. Alright. Unless I did that. I don't know. Oh yeah, I think even here there just seems to be some extra edges here that are unnecessary, like maybe this guy. Do we need that? I don't think we need that. So see where you can get rid of some of these edges. It's got a little unnecessarily dense. You only want as much geometry as is really describing the shape of the surface, so don't put any extra edge loops in there. It just makes things look, I don't know, kind of pinchy and weird. So yeah, and then this tail, I mean, you don't actually have to connect it to the body, but you could if you wanted to. You could do like a, you know, like a diamond shape here, or you could just leave it sticking out there. I think this kind of hindquarter area could use a little more sculpting to it. You know, start working up to the neck and all that. So yeah, a lot of good work on here. Definitely some cleanup and improvements you can do, but mainly, you know, to try and sort of reduce the number of edges. Next up is Ekaterina, and yeah, this is looking really good. Well, a lot of really nice shapes here. It's clear you spent some time here. I like how the pants kind of carefully shapes to the shoes. I think that works really nicely. And I think the shoes look good as well. And yeah, I mean, you've got, you know, there's a knee indicated, there's a thigh and a calf, and it's subtle, and it looks like it's good. It looks like pants, but it looks like it's pants that has some shape underneath it. For this, I would, you know, wrap this edge. Whoops. Oh yeah. You might want, yeah, just do that all the way around. Just give that some thickness, shift right mouse click, shoot edge, and let's just try this. Oh, that's not happy. Well, maybe that's why I didn't do it. Don't know why that's being uncooperative. If I just do Z, will that be better? Now the same weirdness. I guess it's just in too many different directions to know what to do. I gotta think about how to solve that one. I mean, you could do just sort of one thing at a time, so you could like just do the bottom. I just control selected the rest of those and shift right mouse click extrude edge, and then I can click this and just kind of scale it in to the center a bit. And then the problem is we're going to have some cleanup around here if we do it this way, but then I'll deselect the bottom, but get these guys. But maybe take off the top. And oh, yeah, let's switch that. And then do the top. That's kind of, we're gonna have to clean up those little areas, but it should not be too hard. Maybe I'll just select this one and then shift double select. Was it that one? Whoops. Nope. That's not working. Just having a little challenge selecting exactly what I want here. I think there's some already some extra little thing at the top here is what's making it kind of hard. I guess you already did sort of wrap it at the top, but not on the sides is what it looks like. So at this point, maybe instead of more extruding at the top, maybe just do the target weld thing here. Oops. You know, to kind of finish that off there. Because I think you already have some thickness at the top. And then just got to clean up down here. Yeah, I think like a little target weld for that is going to work fine. Yeah, that should clean that up. Okay. The pockets look weird a little bit. I don't know. I think again that needs some thickness on the top and really make sure that these are lined up. I think there's a gap there, so kind of push those in, and I think it's just the way that, yeah, I think they just need to be pushed in some. Maybe get this stuff to match up better so there's not such a gap there. And I think, yeah, you could do, there's kind of a weird divot there, so I might get a little more shape to the back of his body, and his butt could use some work. And the hands are interesting and intricate, but I think they're just generally, first of all, too dense, and second of all, a little bit just kind of skinny looking. So you might try just taking all of these guys and going into move, and then hold down W and go to axis normal, and just drag from that N1 and just push it out. And you can kind of carefully, you don't start like intersecting these, but you can kind of fatten up the hands. I think this would work better. I think the first thing to do is go in and just start deleting some edge loops because it's way too dense, and then kind of fattening it up, and then you won't have so many. But I think to me that already is starting to look more proportional. than that hand. But yeah, overall good work on this. Okay, next up is Sharon. And yeah, it's coming together. I think you probably want to stitch these body parts together. Do they match in E? Why does it do that? Control F9 perverts 20 and oh, okay, so this has more 26. So you know you could. I think this actually needs less though, because you've got these weird. I think that there's maybe one too many edge loop. It just gets so dense here. Or maybe if you need it in the middle there, you can kind of terminate these edges here. What should we say had more? It was this one. Or, yeah, it's. But I mean, the other thing you might do is sort of. I think this needs to be better shaped to the rest of the body, anyways. And I think the back needs more detail. So you could certainly add a couple loops in the back. Turn on symmetry and nope. Can I? Oh, I think it's just symmetry. It should be X is the problem. Is that right? Oh, there we go. Okay. So just in the multi-cut tool, yeah, I might add these guys there. And that starts to get it to be a little closer. I kind of want to terminate some of these or maybe spread them out to even it out. So, and you also really just need to shape this more because it's not really following the shape of that bottom. So you'll need to just kind of point by point work on that. But as far as the topology, you know, I might take maybe from here down and spread that out, you know, so you don't have that really tight area there. You know, I'm starting to get sort of a more even thing, and then how are we doing now? What's this? It says 88, and this still has more. Is there any we can lose off this one? Probably not. So you might still find some more to add here. Probably, again, somewhere in the back. There might be some more you can add. Unless there's some we can terminate here, like you could probably... Those are, you know, you can start to see where some of these are matching up though. So I don't know if I'd want to do that. But yeah, go in and try to kind of match these up point by point. Clearly I think there's stuff in the back that's going to need more detail. There's probably another couple you're going to add, you know, like here, and then use the edge slide to spread those out, and then, you know, put those together with the bridge. How are we doing now? 104. Whoops. 96. So spread these out some. Yeah, I can see where how they're starting to match up a little bit more, and maybe I could use another pair here. And then I think I've got the same number now. And then you could, you know, you could just go point by point if you want. Like I could grab a vert here, for example, whichever shape you think is closer, and let's put this back into object mode and hold down V for point snap and just snap these into position point by point. Is that not lining up? I don't know why it didn't work. It's kind of being funny. Oh, it just if I look at it's just because I'm in smooth mode. Anyways, and you can go around and you could even just, yeah, if you have exactly the right number, you could just, you don't even have to bridge, you could just merge them. Now I think something is going to have to change here. Yeah, I've got, yeah, this somewhat has to be resolved a little bit, that crease ending and then smoothing out into the lower back. Are we matching yet? Just look at verts 26 and yeah, they match. So yeah, you'll just have to go around and point by point adjust these. So yeah, I think just some of these edges need to be pulled in to match the their buddy. Do I have it one off? I must be one off somewhere. I don't know. V point snap. Hopefully I'll figure this out here. Yeah, I think I'm lined up right now. Okay, so those are all snapped except for this one. And that one. Okay. And alright. Then let's grab these and combine. Shift right mouse click combine. And why do those not look like they're matched up anymore? Oh, I guess they weren't before. Jeez. What have I done wrong? Maybe because one was in smooth and the other one was not. But still it should snap to the point. I don't know. Doesn't matter. You don't really have to do this, but I'm just showing kind of a slightly different approach to doing the bridge thing. You just, I think with this kind of method you need to be pretty, it's not very forgiving. Well, it can be a little forgiving. I'll show you the kind of tolerance you can adjust. So, alright. Oh god. This one. And, okay, shift right mouse click combine. And then what you can do now is I can take these vertices and say merge, which is actually I think, can I do it here? Yeah, merge vertices, shift right mouse click, merge vertices, options, and then I could go up in the tolerance, so I can apply, and it's probably fine, but you could maybe see what happens if you did 0.1. See that that's probably fine in case one of them was like a little bit off, and then maybe reset that when you're done so you don't screw that up the next time you use it. And then you can kind of tell, you can just sort of pick these, test them to make sure it's sort of a nice seamless surface. And now that you've done that, you can go in and start to kind of resolve some of this stuff here to deal with that, crease, all that kind of stuff, and maybe work on some of these shapes. Yeah, I think that crotch area could use some help, and I think maybe this maybe could help if this wasn't so bunched up here. Get these more spread out. Yeah, and hands. Did you have a separate hands file? I think you did. So you're doing something here? Was the idea that you were adding these cuts to do some bra thing? Oh, and that's what this whole... Okay. Oh, we lost it there a little bit. Yeah, maybe if you're trying to hold those edges like it's some kind of top, you need to add, some loops there and there, like that, to get that little edge crease there, if that's what you were going for. Those are looking weird now, because you were trying to do this cutout top thing, huh? But yeah, maybe if you just extrude it back, that could work. I think, yeah, give it a shot. Let's see how that goes. And yeah, so good progress. Keep going on that. And here's Sharon's hand. Coming along. I mean, I think this needs a lot more shape. It's very flat there, so get that kind of rounded and kind of keep shaping the wrist and stuff. But you've got a lot of the basic structure looking good. So just keep going and shape that. Okay, next up is Ariana, and yeah, this is coming along well. There's some nice body shape here. I think get the kind of shape of the torso to match the width of the waistline there a little more closely, just by kind of moving the points out. I think the boots have some good basic structure, but they look very blocky, and you might want to shape those a little bit more. There's some good shape to the legs. Maybe get this is kind of divoting in here, kind of trying to get that flattened out there more, sort of smooth that out. And you mentioned an issue with these not matching, so yeah, essentially, one or the other's got a 12 and why is it not giving me a count? 10. So yeah, it's either terminate one here or add one here. I don't think it's a big deal to add, well, or a couple here. Just Control Shift X, and let's change my symmetry to, in this case, Y. Oops, doesn't want to do that, I guess, for some reason. See? No? Huh. Alright, well, whatever. Just mirror the whole thing afterwards. I don't know why it's not giving me... this tool is acting a little funny for this shape. It's not giving me a loop there. There must be something a little funny about that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I can just do it this way. I can click here and here, and then maybe, I don't know, one here. It's being funny. Doesn't want to add a... Oh. Yeah, it's really being odd there. Maybe I'll just add it here and then just slide these back. Ooh, okay, that's an issue. Let's see, that's maybe why we're getting some of those weird results. Shift right mouse click delete vertex. And then let's add this back in. See if it lets me slide the edge. Shift right mouse click, slide edge. Yeah, just slide these to even them out a bit. How many do we have now? Shift click 10 here, and what do we have here? 12? Yeah, so a couple more. But yeah, just add, and I think you probably, yeah, another one here maybe, and then maybe going around here. Like those, and then you got it, you know. You could probably line these up better, but shift right mouse click, combine, select the two edges, and bridge, and then you're in business, and then, you know, slide this and then start, you know, shaping this area a little bit better. Something like that, I think. And then you'll have to kind of straighten out the thing in the middle and mirror it all over again. I don't think this, your center line is quite, oh, maybe it is. Anyway, you'll need to mirror it again afterwards. Yeah, and hands are coming along, I think. Maybe that's looking a little, sort of, they look a little stretched vertically there. I think it looks really kind of exaggerated in that direction, like sort of they're pulled down, stretched. And yeah, there's not much shape on the palm, so I think this could use some work. It looks like you're going to want to even out the topology here, maybe terminate some of these. Wow, there's just a lot. Yeah, you'll want to terminate some of your edge loops there as well. So yeah, the hand needs some shaping. You got these really tight edges here that are not looking so good, and here. So slide those a little bit, clean that up. Yeah, it's a good start. Keep going. Okay, next up is Joanna, and yeah, this is coming along well. I think that the topology at a quick glance is looking pretty sound, although there's some wackiness at the feet. I think you just need a little bit more detail. You're going to have to add some more edge loops. You've got, I don't know what happened with this area where you're going to, you know, if you want to have that extra detail at the end, you're going to have to terminate those edge loops in a more clever way. So because we end up with some not so great surface stuff going on here. So that's again going to be that process I showed a couple times now with you know, putting some of these together like that and then getting rid of this guy. Shift right mouse click delete edge, and that becomes a quad, you know, diamond shaped quad thing. Whoops. You know, and then repeat, and then do that like for these as well. Well, that's not so good, is it? I guess that's alright. Yeah, and then something like that. Oops. Delete edge, shift right mouse click delete edge, and then you got another diamond here. So that's, if you want to reduce it that much, that's what you're going to have to do. And then kind of, yeah, maybe just, you know, manipulate this shape a little, just get these shapes a little nicer there. But that's how you're going to want to terminate those. You don't want to just, because what you end up with is, this is five-sided, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you don't want those five-sided faces there. It's going to give you some bad topology. And yeah, just some extra detail here. I think you're going to want to. Where did that edge go? Not sure what. There's something a little odd looking about this. Is that? How did this happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So somehow you ended up with a 5-sided face there as well. I don't know how. But actually that one's different from the rest of these. So I think we could just quickly just use target weld and maybe get those two. Oh, okay. Yeah, that solved that one. I don't know if did I do that? I don't think. Oh yeah, we got another one like that here. Right? Or like that? Yeah. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's not looking so weird anymore. So is it going to let me do my, no? Something probably still a little not right about it, but, anyways, you know, got a little more oh, okay, well, the same thing. Terminate all those with the same thing, that making the diamonds thing I was showing. And then, you know, get some more detail and shape to these toes. And yeah, I got some knee. I think this is looking a little weird. I don't know if that's intentional. It just, I don't know. I feel like that needs, it just looks a little odd. And then maybe get a little more shape to the breast, a little more kind of mass to the, so it feels like something that kind of hangs. And this is actually looking pretty cool. I think that's coming along quite well. And with the webs. So yeah, good. Oh, I guess you got to figure out this part here. Well, I guess do it however you did those. Let me know if you need help with that. It looks like something went a little berserk with that piece. Let me know if you need a hand with that. But this part looks really good. Okay, yeah, keep going.